The coronavirus has impacted Springfield and cities across our country in no way like any others. It's really changed the normal way we live our lives. No more handshaking, the importance of keeping social distance, and moving in that direction. And so it's important that we all work together, to help each other out whenever possible, to make sure we stop the spread of the COVID virus, because there's no vaccination currently. But what's important that has been proven across the world and across the country is the social distancing of 6 feet from one another. Doesn't mean that we don't need to be engaged, but use that social distance to really stop the spread of the coronavirus. And the importance of that is because right now in Springfield and Sangamon County, we're at the really the bottom level of the bell curve, so to speak. And once more tests are available, then we will see that rise in cases that our medical community is trying to adhere to or try to cure. And so it's important that we all do our part so we don't overwhelm our medical community. We have a great medical community. We have 2 level 1 trauma centers with regards to Memorial Health Services and St. John's HSHS, and then SIU Medicine, as well as Springfield Clinic. We're second to none in any in the country. And so we have our first responders, the police and fire, Class 1 fire department, everybody working together and trying to keep our community healthy. So it's so important that we each do our part to stop the acceleration of the COVID virus. And one of the things the Governor Pritzker has done, rightfully so, is have a stay-at-home order. And what that means is basically only go out if you actually need to go out. There are people that need to work, provide services, and of course you have to go out and get your groceries, get gas, as well as pharmacies. And there's a list of other entities that are deemed essential services per the governor's order. And you can go to the city's website at springfield.il.us to get that information. But each and every one of us needs to do our part with regards to the social distancing, as well as, wash your hands, before and after meals as often as possible, and making sure that you keep your own household healthy as well as those around you. And it's good to be cognizant of others and making sure that we do our part to help one another out. And one of the things that's important is essential services, what the city of Springfield provides each and every resident in the city of Springfield. And so that's what we're covering is what are some of the operations that we will continue to provide you during these challenging times, because it's important that we provide the services that you expect, especially in days like today, to provide certainty in all our lives. And so with me today, I have Nate Bottom, the Public Works Director, as well as our General Chief Engineer, Doug Brown from City Water, Light and Power. And so first, I'll turn it over to Nate Bottom to really talk about the infrastructure of Springfield, and that's our roads, our sewers, because there's work to be done to make sure that, when we're responding to calls, we have the proper infrastructure in place to make sure that we are able to do so effectively and efficiently. So, Nate, if you'd like to go over some of the challenges you faced as a Director of Public Works, especially the past 2 weeks. We've been moving towards this direction where we looked ahead in case we ever got to the point where there is an actual stay-at-home order, which there is now. And what challenges does that bring with you as a director, and how do you, adhere to the social distancing and making sure that our work crews are, being in a safe work environment, but also being able to deliver those services?
Sure, it's been hard to balance it, but we need to make sure that both our infrastructure as well as our employees stay safe. So we've taken precautionary measures in regards to implementing A and B shifts, where they're on call from on Monday through Friday, A shift, and then the following week we go to a B shift. We've further staggered their schedules, their starting times from 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock so that we can keep that distance. That also allows us to take one separate vehicle to further promote the social distancing. We are also having them check in by radioing versus going directly to the time clock and go directly to their vehicle, as well as clock out by calling dispatch so that we can further promote the social distancing. We have the essential services, though, that we still have to get done. So we need our employees to stay healthy, so we can patch the potholes, remove the dead trees, fix the sewer cave-ins as well as the clogged sewers, keep the inlets free and clear of debris, so that we can provide the levels of service that the City of Springfield residents need.
And one of those, which I thought was a great idea that you had, is with regards to the staggered workforce. So it's my understanding you have one group that comes in for the entire week, and that's mainly due to the limitations on equipment, but also the drivers, they take their own separate vehicle to the work site and then are able to perform the work, and then Friday, at the end of the day, they can wipe it down, and then you have that weekend where the equipment sits for that 48-hour period, and then Group B would come in and do the same for that week, so you're rotating, alternating weeks.
That's correct, and that helps out a lot with the social distancing as well as how long the virus is living on various surfaces. And
with that, one of the items that will be coming up beginning of April is the the leaf collection, waste collection, things of that nature, because, we want to make sure we provide the service that, make sure we have a healthy outside as well. And individuals can go into their yard. You don't want to, keep a safe distance from your neighbors, but you still can do your yard work. But the grass pickup, limb pickup, if you want to cover that real quick.
Sure. We're planning on beginning the the yard waste pickup April the 6th. You'll also be able to drop it off for free beginning April the 6th out at Evans Recycling.
Yeah, our preference would be, of course, taking it curbside because it's every other week. And Republic, and they'll come like they did last year with regards to alternating weeks. And I think South Grand was the dividing line.
That's correct, and we will be posting it on the website that you mentioned earlier, as well as, and if you are missed, you'll be able to send an email to springfieldYW@republicservices.com.
Yeah, and that's the best thing is we prefer that you do the work and set it curbside. And it's important that we, again, going back to the governor's order, stay-at-home order, that's one of the tasks you can do and not come in contact with others. And really that's what it's all about, is how we can continue those services so we can have a healthy outside as well as inside. But with regards to drop-off, we prefer limiting that because we do provide that service to each resident within the city of Springfield, where Republic will come 1 week. It'd be north of South Grand, and then the alternating week would be south of South Grand. But you can go to the city's website at springfield.il.us and look that particular information up. And with regards to the COVID virus, we do have it's actually a COVID-19 webpage where you have information not only with the city of Springfield, but it has the federal regulations, it has the state regulations as far as everything of support for businesses, and the programs that have been rolled out, especially with support on the federal government with funding, and then as well as on the local level, what we are doing proactively here within our own community to keep everybody safe. But one of the essential services that everybody, I think we kind of take for granted here in Springfield, and we're blessed to have our own public utility, which is owned by the city of Springfield, and that's City Water, Light, and Power. So every time you flip the switch or turn the nozzle, that's what we want, is make sure we have the electricity and water that we all need to on a day-to-day basis. And with that is Doug Brown. He'll cover the challenges that they face and how they're, are moving to the direction to make sure that we provide that essential service to our residents.
Yeah, for City Water and Power, and in order to protect the health and safety of our workforce, and to make sure that CWLP continues to provide reliable water and electric services, we've had to adjust our operations to, because of the pandemic, and to help stop the spread of the virus. We have over 500 employees, throughout the city that we have to manage for this. Just like other city departments, we've all been working very hard on planning around this crisis and trying to mitigate the risks to our employees. But, being the city's electric and water supplier, there's more responsibility there. There's extra responsibility that's taking place that, we take that planning very seriously, because in the end, we want to assure our customers that even though the times are a little bit uncertain for them, they're going to have their water and their electric. So the lights are going to stay on. And I think we owe it to our employees that, we want to keep them as safe as possible while continuing to be able to provide these vital services. So some of that is cutting back on staffing in certain areas, rotating schedules, just as what Public Works is doing, staggering, shifts if needed, implementing more work-at-home options, all in an effort to comply with social distancing. That is a big part of this. And I think for us is to take a step back and look at what can happen going forward. We are entering the spring season where severe storms are possible. So we have to have our workforce healthy enough to be able to respond to those kind of events, to be able to restore power quickly and safely. So I think that's paramount in our planning, and that's what we've been doing. And I think CWLP here is really to help for the public, and I think we've done that from day one by halting non-payment disconnects, waiving late fees, having more lenient payment plans. I know our walk-in center's closed, so we're playing around that by keeping our drive-through open, even helping take payments for the treasurer's office through that. Our customer service reps are available for phone calls and online chatting. Outage reporting is still the same, though. That doesn't change any at all. And you're going to see our people out there in the public working, but we're asking them to avoid the public, though, by distancing themselves. That's important to keep our employees safe. There's the information that customer service, you can contact 789-2030, and really let us help you set up payment plans. That's if you're needed, call us. They're more than willing to help. Reporting outages, again, that's for electric dispatch, that's 789-2121, and for water, it's 789-2323 extension 2. And there's still easy ways to pay. So we can pay online. There's drop boxes, the drive-through, by phone, even by mail. So mail is still working. So that's kind of how we're pretty much handling the crisis right now. And it's definitely been a struggle to get all the operations lined out, making sure employees are taken care of, listening to all the concerns. But again, providing the essential services is key.
And with that, one important way to contact, you can always call. I'm old-fashioned where I do pick up the phone and call. And the other part of that, if you go to our website, under each department, there'll be a listing of key contacts with the phone numbers. But the other way you can get engaged with City of Water, Light, and Power is through mycwlp.com. Is that where?
That's correct.
If you could go over that real quick.
Yeah. So for mycwlp.com. That's basically a way for people to do online account management. It has a wealth of information on there. It's a little bit of an effort to be able to set up your account and have it logged in and everything ready to go. But once you get it set up, it's real easy to use, and you can contact our customer service reps for any help that you might need in setting that up. But it's definitely an easier way than having to come down in person and pay, or even if you're wanting to mail it.
And with that, is that where you can see a map of outages? I know you mentioned, is it 789, the number you call in for outages to report your own outage, but also it shows online, if you could go over that real quick.
So if you go to our website, CWLP.com, you can look for the link for our outage maps, and if there is an outage, if you're out of power, you can see, where that's at, and then kind of see that hey, we're aware of the situation. But if there is an issue for an outage and you want to get more information, or you feel that you still need to contact City Water, Light, and Power, you can still call the number 789-2121 to talk to our electric dispatch.
Great. And that's what we need to be cognizant of, how we can help each other out. But we're here to serve you, so by all means, take advantage And share your comments if you would. You can email communicationsdirector@springfield.il.us, or if you want to provide constructive critique or information with us, you can go to feedback@springfield.il.us. But it's important that we all do our part that we can to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. And I think by every one of us being cognizant of what's upon us, don't get complacent. We need to still remain vigilant. We need to be proactive. We need to adhere to the governor's stay-at-home order as much as possible. And then that way we don't overwhelm our medical community, and they can provide the great health care that they do each and every day to help save lives. And that's what we're talking about. So it's important that we each do our part. And what we're asking is that everybody do the short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain, because we'll get through it. I was on the U.S. Conference of Mayors teleconference with the mayor of New York and other large city mayors, and that's where it's all starting. And the numbers have risen drastically, and that's due to the population that they have, but the increased testing. And so we will see the numbers rise here in Springfield and Sangamon County and in Illinois, but it's important that we all do our part to make sure that we do not have a greater escalation by not keeping social distances. So let's keep our social distance, remain engaged with one another, check on one another. We can do so with technology, with our phones, our web pages, or whatever the case may be, but it's important that we all do our part, work together, and we'll be stronger when this is all over and move in a new direction to make sure that we have a stronger community. And that's when Springfield is at its best, is challenging times like this. Our greatest asset, I've said many times, is our people. And this is where we all rise to the occasion and work together to meet our challenges head on, and so we'll have a better community in the end. So thank you for all you do. Thank you, Doug, and the workers at CWLP. We really appreciate all they do, as well as Public Works and all our departments. They're all pulling together, working together to make sure that we provide the essential services through this challenging time, so all of us can make sure that we make it through this together, and we look forward to brighter days ahead. Thank you.